Today's lesson, we're going to look at how to write equations of perpendicular lines. So we'll use what we learned from our investigation and apply what we already knew about writing equations of lines. Very similar to writing equations of parallel lines, we'll first identify our slope. Remember, slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite and reciprocal. The slope of the given line is positive 1/2, so the slope of the perpendicular line will be opposite or negative, and flip that 1/2 to 2. Then we'll use that coordinate we were given and set up our asylum equation. Y equals, substituting in that -2 for our slope, x plus 1, that -1 goes inside and becomes opposite. The -5 stays on the outside and stays normal. Distributing our -2, -2 times +1, and combining those like terms. Graphing both of these on a coordinate plane, our y-intercept is -7, so we're going to go down 7 on the y-axis, and our slope is negative, which means our line should fall. We're going to go down 2 and to the right 1, or up to left 1. Graphing the original equation, we have a y-intercept of +4 and a slope of +1/2. So our line should rise 1, run 2. Or we can fall and go to the left. Our lines are perpendicular, so when we graph them, we should notice that it looks like they meet at a right angle. If it doesn't look like a right angle, go back and look at your slope. Maybe you forgot the negative, maybe you forgot to flip it, or check that you graphed your slopes right. Next example, identifying our slope. It will be opposite. The given slope is negative, so I want a positive slope, and I will flip it to 2/3, and then use the ordered pair that I was given. Substituting those into the asylum equation, y equals slope, x, that -6 goes inside, becomes opposite, the -4 goes on the outside and stays negative. We're going to have to distribute that 2/3 to our 6, so we can do that work off to the side. Remember, 3 goes into 6. We're dividing first. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then we have our 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 4 gives us 0. So we have y equals 2/3 x for the equation of our perpendicular line. Graphing that line, our y-intercept is 0, so we'll start right where the axes meet. Our slope is positive, so we're going to rise 2, run 3. Make sure that your line matches your slope. Going back to graph our given line, the y-intercept is -8, so we will start down 8 on our y-axis, and our slope is negative, so our line will fall. -3/2. I don't have room to fall 3, so I'm going to rise 3, but that means I'm going to go left 2 so that I still get that negative slope. Once again, those lines should meet at what appears to be a right angle. If not, check your work. Our next example, the slope of the given line is +2/5. So the slope of our line is opposite, becomes negative. Flip that around to 5/2. The ordered pair we were given is -2, 7. Putting that information into the point slope or asylum equation, y equals m, x, that -2 goes into the asylum, becomes opposite. That +7 goes on the outside and stays normal. Distributing that -5/2. When we distribute it to the 2, the 2's will cancel, leaving us with -5. Combining our like terms, we get a +2. Putting that on the graph, we're going to go up 2 on the y-axis for our y-intercept. Our slope is negative, so our line will fall. We're going to fall 5, run to the right 2, or we can rise 5, go left 2. Make sure that when you have a negative slope, your line is falling, and when you have a positive slope, your line is rising. You're going to be graphing one of each with these perpendicular lines, so you will always have a line that falls because their slopes are opposite. Graphing the given line, we're going to start at +8. This time we're rising 2, running 5, or we can fall 2 and go left 5. Checking that it appears we've got that right angle right where the lines meet. Looks good. Finally, we're going to look at writing equations of lines perpendicular to special lines. We've got our x equals -4. Some of you by now may not need the t-chart to get this line graphed. Remember, if it's an x equals, it has an x-intercept but no y-intercept. If it's a y equals, it has a y-intercept but no x-intercept. For those of you that just want to double check, our x values are -4. We can put any y values in that we want to and graph those points. Our first point is left 4, down 2. Then we have left 4, up 0, and left 4, up 5. So we can see our x equals -4 line has an x-intercept, but it does not intersect the y-axis. Then we'll plot that point 7, -3, right 7, down 3. And in order for our lines to be perpendicular, it needs to be horizontal. So to write the equation of this line, notice it has a y-intercept, but not an x-intercept. So the equation of this line will be a y equals equation, and we'll get what y equals either from the ordered pair or from where the graph crosses the y-axis. Y equals -3 is the equation of the line perpendicular to x equals -4. And you have 2 U-Try questions. Please attempt these to the best of your ability and come to class with questions so we can clarify your points of confusion.